Hi everyone, it's Ashley at Tea Garden Paper Crafts. Welcome to week 7 of Junk Journal Journey 2025. I don't have the preview papers printed out this week because I changed my ink cartridge or my toner cartridge, and so I ended up forgetting. So I did put together a prototype of what we're making though, and this week it is a waterfall with a pull tab. So sometimes you have waterfalls where you just push the cards up, but this one has a pull tab to help with this. So this is the prototype here. I've made one of these on my channel before, but I made that one using a 12 by 12 piece of scrapbooking paper. This one is actually made from the kit that I have on my Ko-fi page, or Ko-fi, however you say it. I'm not sure. But this kit has all of the parts that you need to be able to make this waterfall. So let's get to it. So the kit is going to include these cards here, which you are going to want to print out with something on the back of them. I used one of the neutral backgrounds from one of the previous weeks, but you could just coffee dye it or print on coffee dyed paper. Then there is this long rectangle which has the lines. You're going to want to score along each of these lines, because that'll be crucial for putting together our waterfall. And I also have printed on the back of mine. And then there is a second long rectangle that does not have lines. This one you are going to put here like this. So after you've scored everything, you're going to want to take your second piece of paper, not cut off, and fold over. So you want to fold over like this, and then you're going to trim it here. So this paper, just to kind of show you, when you print and cut this out initially, it's going to be long like this. So what you're going to do is you're going to line it up with the very last fold, and then fold over and trim it off at the end, so that that second piece of paper extends this all the way down, okay? And then this you can just put aside. We'll use that for something else in one of our other projects. It's not needed for this project. And then you will also have this long strip here. You will have pockets, a pull tab, some words, which we will use on the pockets, and then cards to go in the pockets. So let's start by assembling. So the very first thing that we want to do is we want to put our pieces on. So each piece is going to get glued on like this. So you'll want to kind of determine if there's a specific order that you want them to go in. If there's one that you really like, if you want that to go on top. Oops. So something like that, okay? And you'll have one left over. We'll use that in a bit. So I have mine in order so that every other card has a butterfly on it, but you can order them whichever way you would like and whichever one you want on top. I want my sunflower on top, so we're going to start by that. So before we do anything, make sure you've got this piece with the lines scored and ready to go, and we're going to fold the top part here underneath. Now what we're going to do is we are going to put glue on just this line here, okay? Make sure you don't go past the creases. And I would suggest a strong glue for this. because these are pieces that are going to be interactive, getting movement. So I would definitely suggest that you do a nice strong glue. So what we're going to do is we are going to get that as close to the top as we can and as close to in line with the sides as we can. And we're going to give that a good push down. Then we will carefully fold it up and fold it so that you can see here, so that this line is exposed. And we're going to do again, we're going to glue just this line here. We do not want to glue past either of the creases. The waterfall that I did previously on my channel using the scrapbook paper inspired this one. I kind of reconfigured my measurements to work with a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So pretty proud of this one. Okay, so we're again going to stick down our next card, bringing it as close to the crease as possible without going over so that it folds nicely. Fold up so that you can see there. We've got, and we're going to again keep gluing. So there, this part is fairly easy. You can glue on either side. So like if you end up, say you accidentally glued this on the other side, as long as you're assembling it the same way, it doesn't matter which side you have facing up here, as long as you have it the same, you're gluing it the same way that I am. So like if you wanted to, this to be, you could glue it that, you would just fold it over and glue it that way. But I like mine with this side showing. Okay, so again, fold, just going to glue this line here. Make sure I don't go past my crease. And line up my card. And try to line it up with the sides as best I can. Give it a good push down. Make sure it folds up good. All right, that's looking good. And then we'll do these last two, and then we'll hold off on this one because we're going to continue assembling, and we don't want to put that card on until closer to the end. And I will show you why. Okay. Close to the crease. And do my best to line up the sides, make sure we fold easily, and we do. Perfect. Let's do this last one here. Close to the crease, push it down, make sure we don't have any extra glue seepage, make sure that we fold well. Perfect. Okay, so right now our last card will be getting glued on this one, but first what we want to do is we're looking like this so far, where our everything folds up nicely. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to fold this back down and then fold it up. We're going to glue this long piece here onto here. Okay? And again, we want to glue it up to that flap there. So I'm going to get as close to my crease as possible. Glue as close to my sides as possible. Don't need to be perfect because in the middle, because this is going to be, we're gluing the whole thing down, so I'm not as concerned. I want to just make sure I get it as close to the sides as possible. Try and line that up with our sides and then give it a good push down like that. So this back side here does not matter what it looks like. Okay, so next what we are going to do is we are going to put our tab on this piece down here. Okay, so we've got our tab here. If you don't like the paper here, you could do a different, print something different on this side, or you could cut your own tab. But I'm going to go with this one, and I'm going to glue all of the tab, because we're going to put that on to be our pull for once we make our waterfall work. This is a really, really fun interactive thing to put in your journals. You don't have to put pockets on yours. You could absolutely do it without the pockets and just make it a really fun writing space or something like that. Try to get this centered as best I can. Yeah, that looks good. Good enough. And then give that a good firm press to make sure that that is on. So then you can see when we put this down here, you can see our tab hanging out. All right, so next we're going to use this long strip here, okay? This is the part that can be the trickiest when you are assembling the waterfall, because if you do not assemble this part correctly, your waterfall will not work. So we'll go nice and slow. So what we're going to do is you want to make sure that everything is folded in half like this, so with your tab piece on the bottom and your cards on the top. And we're going to fold up all of the cards. We're going to peel them back so this stays in line. We're going to peel these cards back so this bottom one stays in line. And what we are going to do is center our long strip here. Let these cards back down. Okay, so our strip is underneath these cards here. Nothing is glued yet. What we're going to do is very carefully flip this over. And you want it kind of close to the bottom. The closer this strip is to the bottom, the easier it'll be to work this. So what we're going to do is we're then going to fold it and fold it so that these strips overlap. Okay. Give it a really good crease. And next, what we are going to do is we are going to glue this front part down. Okay, we're not going to glue anything on the back yet. We're just going to glue the front part. So you can take this off, and we're only going to glue this right here. So start with that, okay? Now we're going to glue over this, so I'm not super concerned about making sure that it's absolutely perfect, but you want to try and not get any glue like I did onto past the crease. So if you're not confident in that, or if you're worried that you're going to do what I did and glue slightly past the crease, then I would suggest glue a little less. So again, what we're going to do, make sure everything's lined up, fold this over, put our piece back down, and I'm not going to like really stick it down yet because I want to be able to make sure that I can adjust it on this side here. Make sure everything lines up, and then I'll push. Make sure that that's nice on there. So then what we're going to do is we now need to glue this together. We do not want to glue it to this. Don't put any glue to glue it to the back of the card. You only want to glue it just to itself so that there's still a gap in here, okay? And don't glue it too tightly, because if you glue it down too tight, you might have a hard time. So what I'm going to do is just kind of put a little bit of glue there, and then a little bit of glue on this end, and make sure that I don't get it on the card underneath. So see, I don't know if you can see that, but there's still a gap down there. Okay? It is not glued to the card underneath, and that's what we want. So now finally, that is glued. What we can do See, this is why you don't want it super, super tight. If you find that yours isn't sliding here like it should, because this piece here needs to be able to slide. So if you find that it's not sliding here, like if this corner is not allowing you to slide, like if you find you're getting stuck, you might want to trim this down, and I think I'm actually going to do that. Let me grab my scissors. Okay, so you can see that where I glued the two pieces together in the back is just slightly hanging over, and that's what my slider is getting stuck on. So I'm just going to very carefully snip that off, and then we'll check the other side. And now that should slide. Perfect. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to glue this card. Come on. We're going to glue this card on here to hide our slider on the front. Okay, and for this one, I'm going to glue the card itself and you're going to glue the whole back of the card, because this is going to hide our slider. Now, you don't have to hide your slider. I just really like to, because I think it kind of gives it a more complete look. Make sure my card is the correct way up here. And then make sure that I'm lined up on the bottom and give it a good press. All right. Okay. So now if you don't want to put the pockets on it, this is done. This is how it would work. So you would, to attach it to your page, you're going to glue just this. I know it sounds weird, but you're going to glue just the slider to your page. So imagine that it is connected to your page. So like here with this one, see how it's just connected to the page with that, so that when it's in your book and you pull down on your tab, it pulls up. So just like that, okay? So again, if you don't want to decorate anymore, this is it, you're done. But I want to put my pockets on. So, and I'm going to put my pockets, now you could put them either way. You could put them on the front here, or you could put them on the inside. For my other one, I put them on the inside, but for this one, I think I want to put them on the front, just because I have the writing space on the back side. So what we're going to do is we are going to very carefully put some glue along the edges here. I say carefully, but I am clearly not careful, because that was not as close to the edge as I would like, but that's okay. I have small things to go in these pockets. And then I'm going to put mine like that. Seal that down. Fold. Okay. Fold that up and onto the next one. And these I also have that they are green, blue, but you can put them in any order that you like. See if I can be a little more careful. Oh, my hands are shaking like crazy today. That's all right. Okay, on to the next one. Like I said, I'm super proud of how this template came out. And if you would like to see this waterfall in other styles, like if you want to see other themes of it, let me know, and I'd be happy to make other styles of this waterfall using different themes and post those on my Ko-fi. This was just so much fun. I love making waterfalls. I will be, at some point in this year for these tutorials, I will be doing another waterfall without the pull, the one that's a little less complicated. that you work manually instead of with the little pull that you just flip the cards up. I will be doing one of those as well, just to show you. So if you want something a little simpler, because I know that this one, I've had people say they've had problems with this one before, and this one can definitely be a little bit more complicated. So keep gluing here. Got a piece of glue stuck to me. There we go. And I tried to make this so that the colors all really complement each other. And I didn't use any new images this week. All of the images that are in this kit go with, in this week's kit, go with images from the previous 6 weeks. So help keeping everything tied together. And there will be weeks where I say, hey, I used paper from another week to print on the backs and stuff, just because it's not feasible for me to create a paper each and every week. So next we are going to come in. I'm not going to put a pocket on this bottom one just because this one does not actually go all the way up. If you see on the back here, it hits this. So I couldn't figure out how to fix that with my template, but I'm not super upset about it. I still love the way that this turned out and think it's really pretty, so I'm not upset with that. But next I'm going to put cards on. I'm going to put wow, I can't think of words today. I'm gonna put the labels on. The labels you could do with glue stick. You do not need to do these with good glue. I just don't feel like going to grab my glue stick. So, and these all just say really cute little things, and they have really pretty tiny pictures of flowers and in them, and I love the way that this came out. Like I said, this kit is just, I think this may be, aside from last week's tea pouches, this is probably my second favorite one that I've done so far. And I love all of the things that I've been creating for this project so far, but waterfalls are something that I just absolutely love putting in all of my journals. They're such a wow factor in your journals. They're kind of complicated, but when you're putting them in your journals and people come across them, they seem like even more awe-inducing than just regular pockets and stuff, which I think is really fun, and they're just such an interactive element. I absolutely love them. With these tags, they are also 3 green and 3 blue, so I am alternating those and putting blue on green and green on blue. And our last one here, and then we will put our tags in. All right, so there are 6 of these postage style stamps, postage style tabs, and then there are 3 and 3 of these. So put them together however you would like, but everything fits really nicely in these pockets. Everything, oops, come on, get in there. Everything is made so that it will fit nicely, and because these pockets are pretty snug, you don't need to worry about the stuff falling out of them when you're flipping it. At least you shouldn't. Just make sure that you glue your pockets down nice and tight. I had to include bluebirds because bluebirds are my absolute favorite. And I also love hummingbirds. Also, there's 3 birds and 3 flowers, so you could alternate those, but I'm not super fussed about that. Get this last one in, and we will take another look. Let me put my glue cap on. Don't want that drying up. Okay, so there we are. Let's take one last look at it with it decorated. And what I like about the waterfalls is that they're not super thick. So here we go. And then when this is glued to a page, you won't have to fight to get it back together. You'll just push it back in. And there we are. So I hope you enjoyed this week's tutorial. And if you have any suggestions, comments, if you need help assembling this, feel free to shoot me a message. Either comment on my YouTube and I will comment back, or you can send me a message on Ko-fi. I check that daily. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Subscribe if you haven't. And if this is your first video with me, I'm so glad that you're here, and I hope you'll continue to join me on Junk Journal Journey 2025. Have a nice day.